Here's Griner going in for the throwdown. Houston rumbling through, finds Griner for the dunk, and that's what the sellout crowd was waiting for. Zargon finding Griner! Slam dunk.
Brittney Griner is spending her 144th day in a Russian jail. Her 6'9" frame confined to a spare space, missing her family, teammates, and wife, whose picture she carried to her trial, where embassy officials gave her a letter from President Biden responding to a plea Griner had written for help.
Are we ready?
Yeah, fine.
Are you sure everything is in place?
This time, yes, for sure.
Okay. Seven-time WNBA All-Star Brittney Griner was detained in February of 2022 at the Russian Sheremetyevo International Airport. The Russian authorities say that they found vape cartridges with 0.7 grams of hash oil in her luggage. She is on trial for large-scale transportation of drugs. 0.7 grams? That's not a lot.
It's like a nickel.
Not large scale in any case. Get out of our face with the large scale, 0.7 grams. This was really bad timing because 1 week after her detention, Russia invaded Ukraine, and relations between Russia and the US deteriorated. Before we get into what happened next, if you like videos about conspiracies, crime, debunking popular misconceptions, consider subscribing. I don't know, I keep doing that. Consider subscribing. That's my new thing. We have a goal to upload every week, but we're only human. So if you hit the bell notification, you'll be notified when and if that actually happens. You can follow us on Instagram, and that, along with a bunch of sources that I've used for this video, are going to be linked below. In preparation for this video, I've been watching a bunch of clips of Brittney Griner playing basketball. Notice that certain men love to explain in detail why women just aren't as good at basketball as men. Men are also a lot better at being noisy assholes on the street.
Men are better at riding motorcycles.
One of the oft-cited reasons for women's inferiority is that women don't usually dunk. Brittney Griner can dunk.
Griner goes flying in with the two-handed jam right on cue.
Brittney Griner gives it a home.
Griner, McCarthy will let her go. No look pass for Griner and the dunk.
I mean, no one else, no other woman who plays basketball can do that. Two-handed, 2 feet, just goes up. I mean, if you're gonna give a crowd something to cheer about, it might as well be that, right?
Known as BG to her friends, Brittney stands at a staggering 6'8". Also, unlike other girls, she's known to be a bit of a brawler, knows how to throw a punch.
Yeah. Here's Condrey, now a foul away from the basketball.
Oh, and
Brittney
Griner just threw a punch.
She just threw a punch.
I rocked her. I mean, it was...
You punched her?
Yeah, I punched her. I broke her nose.
And down it goes. And now we've got Brittney Griner going after Anigwe, and this could get ugly. Griner is being held back by numerous players and now trying to throw punches. Agler now is being pushed along the sideline on the press row.
There was a lot that kind of led to it. Just the elbowing, two-hand chunking, the running in hard, leading with the elbow into rebounds. And it was a rebound. She came running in. I got big, like all bigs are supposed to be taught. She ran into the elbow. She didn't like it. Pulled me back, threw a punch, grazed me on my cheek, and everything just, it was like the top came off the boiling pot.
She is a center for She is a center for the Phoenix Mercury. I wish they called it the Phoenix Mercuries. Doesn't that sound flows off the tongue better? She's been playing basketball in Russia for the UMMC Ekaterinburg team since 2014. Something I didn't know before I started researching this video is that a lot of WNBA players play basketball in Russia during the winter, where they can make substantially more money than they can playing for the WNBA. Most WNBA salaries are somewhere between $100,000 to $250,000. They have a collective bargaining agreement that caps the base salary at $228,000. They can earn bonuses, which can bring their annual salary up to $500,000. But of course, that's penis.
That's penis.
But of course, that's peanuts compared to what NBA players make. Top women basketball players in Russia, however, can make $1 million per season. In a 2017 interview with ESPN, it seems clear that Brittney doesn't love spending time in Russia, but who could turn down that big of a paycheck?
Normally we have practice around 10-ish. Then it's like, what am I gonna do for the rest of the day? It's freezing cold outside. I hated it at first. I hated isolation at first. But I've grown. I mean, when you're stuck in it so much, you gotta find the positive in it so you're not miserable. So I kind of had to turn it into something good.
Should I call her Brittney or Griner? Or
BG. I like BG.
Okay. BG pled guilty on July 7th of this year, saying, "I'd like to plead guilty, Your Honor, but there was no intent. I didn't want to break the law." BG has explained to her attorneys that she simply packed in a hurry and forgot that the cartridges were in her luggage. Who among us has not, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever accidentally been in a
Plane?
airport with drugs?
No? Yes.
I feel like
No.
I know. According to an article from CBS, less than 1% of Russian defendants are acquitted. So the fact that she's going to trial at all means that they are probably going to convict her. During her testimony, BG addressed the court from inside a steel cage, which is standard for Russian trials. In a Russian trial, typically the judge reads the prosecutor's file and then the judge leads the questioning. And it seems based on the 1% acquittal rate that the judge's ruling is often a foregone conclusion. BG didn't have contact with her family or her wife, Cherelle Griner, for an extended period of time. Recently, Cherelle was scheduled to have a call with BG, and it all fell apart. She was supposed to be able to reach her through the American embassy in Russia, but after calling and calling on Saturday, the scheduled day, she found out that there simply was no staff at the embassy. She said about the incident, "I find it unacceptable, and I have zero trust in our government right now. If I can't trust you to catch a Saturday call outside of business hours, how can I trust you to actually be negotiating on my wife's behalf to come home?" Like, that kind of shit in the private sector would get you fired immediately, and in the government it's just like, "Oh, sorry, duh." Government.
Can we do a whole episode on why the government's the worst?
I don't want to end up like Brittney Griner in some cell, some tiny cell. If we do that, then we're going to be the ones that the US trades for PG. You know what? I'm ready. I deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's our purpose.
Maybe that's our whole aim with this video.
Take us instead.
Take us! God, we're useless. I feel a little overfamiliar calling her BG. I'm going to go back to calling her Griner.
Okay.
Griner said in a letter to Biden, "I realize you are dealing with so much, but please don't forget about me and the other American detainees. Please do all you can to bring us home. Joe, Sleepy Joe, what are you doing if not this? Your schedule does not seem crowded to me." Obviously, these are trumped up charges. Like we mentioned, it just wasn't that much hash oil. Like, there's no way you could think like, oh, she must be here to deal drugs in her spare time between dunks. Weed is illegal in Russia, but it's not that illegal. We also have a fairly recent example of an American traveler arriving in Russia with way more weed and not being detained for nearly as long. In 2019, 19-year-old Audrey Lorber was detained in St. Petersburg with 19 grams of marijuana. She said it was prescription. She said she could provide the prescription. That didn't matter. She did spend more than a month in a Russian jail. My hair sucked my lipstick. And they fined her $235, but she ended up, I think, not having to pay it. And once
$200?
I know.
That's not a fine.
So, obviously, let's just put that to bed. The weed is not the issue.
Maybe they just want money.
Maybe they just want $235.
$235 is like 400 million Russian dollars.
Oh, this whole time, if only they had just said they wanted
It's
$200.
a ransom.
Russia, do you want $200? We'll send you $200.
I totally would be behind that.
Say the word.
We'll go halvesies.
Check is in the mail. It's speculated that Russia's aim with detaining Brittney Griner is that they want to exchange her for a Russian prisoner. In April of this year, the US exchanged an American prisoner named Trevor Reed for a Russian prisoner named Konstantin Yuryushenko. Yuryushenko is a Russian pilot and a convicted drug trafficker. In 2011, Yuryushenko was sentenced to 20 years in a Connecticut prison after he was found guilty of conspiring to smuggle cocaine into the US. In 2019, Trevor Reed, who is a Marine, was arrested in Moscow for allegedly assaulting an officer. He was sentenced to 9 years for endangering the life and health of a Russian police officer. It's rumored that Russia might be angling to exchange Brittney Griner for Victor Bout, a convicted arms dealer. A Russian arms dealer who's currently in the US serving a 25-year prison sentence. This Victor Bout theory seems plausible because his name came up during the Trevor Reed negotiations. So we know somebody that Russia wants that we still have. According to Reuters, Moscow's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said that it would be difficult to exchange prisoners with the United States and suggested that Washington stop talking about the fate of Griner. For the first few months of this case, we really didn't hear a lot about it, and I'm not sure why. I've heard it theorized if it became a huge story, then Russia would have more leverage to bargain with us. There's also been some weird stuff about who can say what about Brittney Griner. Recently, Macy Gray appeared on the Today Show, and she and her band were going to wear t-shirts that said, "Free Brittney Griner." Billy West, the keyboardist for the band, has said that a Today staffer approached him and told him that he had to turn his shirt inside out. What's up with that?
Just him or like
No, the whole band.
Oh.
The whole band. They couldn't have Free Brittney Griner on their t-shirts on live TV.
We wanted to wear them on the show, and then they said no, because I guess something happened.
Maybe the CIA swooped in and was like, no, Russia loves the Today Show. They'll all be watching. This will piss them off.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Totally.
This is a really terrifying situation. Brittney Griner faces 10 years in a penal colony. She obviously doesn't deserve this, even by Russia's own legal standard. Her dad is a Vietnam veteran. I don't know if that helps any of you. I say make the trade. It's like, oh, they get one little arms dealer. Like, we'll just arrest him again if he keeps causing problems. Speculation about not wanting to give Russia bargaining leverage aside, I think it's crazy how little coverage this has gotten. And we're here to change that with our 100 subscribers. Thanks for 100 subscribers, by the way.
Woohoo!
Share this video, make it go viral. Ooh. I think that the NBA could arguably be doing more to support Griner. I have seen that LeBron James and Marcus Smart have tweeted their support of Brittney. The Boston Celtics recently wore t-shirts that said, "We are BG" at the NBA Finals. But it's not enough. And that's why Andrew and I have formed the 2-person Queens League of Freedom. And we will be raising awareness tomorrow on the courts of Queens.
Oh.
You and me dunk off.
Right.
I assume we'll draw a crowd.
Our goal is to raise 245 American dollars, which is all the Russians can ever spend.
And with that, let's cut to what I assume is an incredible compilation of us dunking and dunking and dunking and dunking.
When you serve to the goal. Yeah, it's amazing how bad you are at basketball.
Thing where you do it between your legs. You know, they're like.
I've heard of it.
They're like
Like that?
Yeah.